Welcome to Auto Mundial, the weekly car news and review show. This week, we're taking a look at the latest hydrogen-powered cars, the Hyundai Nexo and the Toyota Mirai, plus a new hybrid from Ferrari and a muscle car from Shelby.
We take a look at Fiat's stylish new 500X Dolce Vita, and Mercedes takes on Lexus with its new EV SUV. That's all coming up. First though, the news.
Porsche has introduced a new infotainment system for the 911, Cayenne, Taycan and Panamera. Known as PCM 6.0, the system has been designed to improve links to mobile devices while also being easier to use. Streaming services Spotify and Apple Music are now integrated, so you can add songs straight from the radio to your playlists without ever having to touch your smartphone. The new system also offers a greater range of customizable features, allowing users to personalize their menu bars to best suit them. Many of the features can be operated remotely via an app that can even be used to help you improve your lap times on track days.
The Fiat 500X has been refreshed for 2022 with some new trim levels and a host of updates across the range. The styling tweaks are minimal, with a new 500 badge on the front and Fiat script on the boot lid. There are a few bits of new kit and some revised pricing, but the headline news is the introduction of the 500X Dolce Vita. Never a brand to shy away from its Italian heritage, Fiat has turned up the coastal flavour with its new ragtop that will appeal to those who want a convertible but need a family car. For maximum Italianness, buyers can opt for the surprisingly classy Yacht Club Capri model seen here. Inspired by the sun-drenched island that lent its name to a blue-collared Ford coupe, the Fiat 500X Dolce Vita Yacht Club Capri has just about the longest name we've ever come across. All is forgiven though when you take a look inside. The cabin is filled with the sort of wood and leather usually reserved for floating gin palaces, and we have to say it looks superb. The outside gets some bespoke touches too, like the colour-coded 18-inch alloy wheels, special badges and a subtle pinstripe that wraps around the entire car. The key feature of all Dolce Vita models, though, is the roof. Similar to the one found on the Fiat 500 convertible, the full-length canvas sunroof can be opened or closed in 15 seconds at speeds of up to 62 miles per hour. The roof is available in a range of colours to complement your paintwork and interior. It won't get you as much sunshine as the Volkswagen T-Roc Cabriolet, but it's certainly more restrained.
The Mercedes GLB is one of our favourite small SUVs. Rivaling the likes of the Discovery Sport and Tiguan Allspace, it's a practical family car with 7 seats and chunky styling. As funky as it is though, it isn't quite as spacious as the Land Rover, nor as affordable as the Volkswagen. Now though, Mercedes has created a new version that takes it into a whole new market. This is it, the new Mercedes EQB, essentially an electric version of the GLB. It still looks fantastic, even better than the combustion-powered car, with a new aerodynamic front end, gorgeous alloy wheels and a full-width LED rear light. Inside, the interior has been pretty much copy and pasted from the GLB, and that's no bad thing. It comes with the fabulous widescreen infotainment system and digital instrument display. Sure, there are other electric 7-seaters, but they're all either van-based, like the eye-catching Nissan ENV200, or expensive models from Tesla. The EQB is an altogether more stylish and luxurious alternative to the vans, and more affordable than the Teslas, with prices starting at £52,000. There are 2 powertrain options from launch, with up to 268 brake horsepower and all-wheel drive, with the EQB 350-4MATIC getting a WLTP range of 260 miles.
But the Merc isn't the only posh new EV SUV to hit the market this year. This is the new Lexus UX 300e, the Japanese brand's first ever EV. And that may seem hard to believe at first. After all, Lexus has become famous for its hybrids, having sold almost 2 million of them around the world. So after having something of a head start in the electrification game, how has Lexus got on with its first full EV? Well, it may not be quite as stylish as the Merc, but it looks modern with lots of sharp creases and interesting angles. And it's a similar story inside, with a smart, well-equipped cabin that looks great, but somehow lacks the wow factor of the EQB. And it isn't just on the styling front where the UX loses out to the Mercedes. Its range is just under 200 miles, and its 7.5 second 0 to 62 time will hardly get your pulse racing. Like all Lexus though, the UX 300e is exceptionally well built, and its classy conservative image will appeal to some more than the showy Mercedes. There are, of course, a number of other electric SUVs on the market now, including the BMW iX3 and the Audi Q4 e-tron. But neither of these has the third row of seats you get on the Mercedes.
The EQB then is not only one of the coolest electric SUVs out there, but also one of the most practical.
After the break, Shelby celebrates 55 years of the GT500, and we look at 2 hydrogen cars you can actually buy.
Still to come, hydrogen cars from Toyota and Hyundai, but first...
Not including special editions and limited run cars, Ferrari currently has 6 different cars in its lineup. There are plenty of more mainstream manufacturers with fewer models, and Ferrari hasn't even released its SUV yet. So, is the historic Italian marque's lineup getting overcrowded? Well, let's be real. Of course not. It's impossible to have too many Ferraris, surely. And this is the latest one. Called the 296 GTB, this is Ferrari's first V6 powered car since the Dino. Don't go thinking though that this is some sort of baby Ferrari to sit underneath the V8s and V12s, as the 2.9-litre V6 pumps out an almighty 654 brake horsepower. Okay, that's not as much as the F8 Tributo, but wait. The 296 GTB has something hidden up its sleeve. The twin turbocharged Hot V engine is helped along by a hybrid system, adding a few more horses for a combined output of 819 brake horsepower. All power is sent to the rear wheels via an 8-speed gearbox. The 296 then sits somewhere in between the F8 and the SF90, Ferrari's other hybrid monster with almost 1,000 brake horsepower. Like the SF90, the 296 is a plug-in hybrid, and it can drive on electric power alone for around 15 miles or so. But play around with the Manettino switch and get the 296 into its fastest settings, and it'll reach 62 miles per hour from a standstill in just 2.9 seconds. 124 miles per hour in 7.3 seconds, and hit a top speed of 205. With F8 production due to end this year, this leaves some room for another Bernardetta model to sit underneath it, be that with a V6 or a V8. And there's more good news when you take a moment, step back and look at it. Inspired by the classic 250 LM of the 1960s, it's one of the best looking Ferraris of the modern era. Prices will start at around £230,000, with customer deliveries starting this year.
While manufacturers around the world are downsizing engines, making use of turbos and hybrid technology, it seems that over in the United States, they didn't get the memo. Apparently, the big three, GM, Chrysler and Ford, don't know the meaning of the word downsizing, and things have escalated into something of a power war. And this is Ford's latest muscle car offering to rumble its way out of Detroit, the 2022 Shelby GT500, the flagship Mustang. Slotting in above the now defunct GT350, which in itself was no shrinking violet, the 500 turns everything up to 11. Ford claims that the new Shelby GT500 will surprise supercar owners with its racing tech, supercharged engine and visceral swagger. Well, we can certainly believe that. The 5.2-litre supercharged V8 pumps out an outrageous 749 brake horsepower, surging the big Mustang from 0 to 62 miles per hour in around 3 seconds, and making it the most powerful Ford production car ever made. That said, if you ask nicely, there is a dealer in Las Vegas that will add the king of the road pack, which bumps power up to 900 bhp. The stylings had an upgrade too, with an Audi-esque gaping mouth at the front for increased airflow, a GT4 spec aero package and some signature Shelby stripes. Gone are the days of simple muscle cars, as the GT500 proves with some very clever engineering. It has the largest brake rotors ever fitted to an American car, and the 7-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox is good for 100 millisecond shifts. Ford claims a quarter-mile time of 11 seconds, putting it right into the firing line of the current pony car to beat, the infamous Dodge Challenger Hellcat.
It's down on power versus the Mustang at a mere 707 brake horsepower, but don't be fooled, the Hellcat is built for the drag strip. Quarter-mile times are in the Shelby's ballpark, but 0 to 62 is slightly behind. But if you do feel the need to get to the 60-mile-per-hour mark in under 3 seconds, Dodge will also sell you what might be the maddest car in the world right now, the Demon. Essentially an even more focused version of the Hellcat, the Demon is every bit as intimidating as its name would suggest. The 6.2-litre V8 puts out 840 brake horsepower in its most aggressive tune, meaning sub-3 second 0 to 62 sprints and sub-10 second quarter-mile times. It's full of neat drag racing details. The launch control is activated via the paddles rather than the brake pedal for quicker reaction times, while a button on the dash adjusts the car's tune so it can run on 100-octane race fuel. It really is incredible that the Demon can wear a set of number plates. It's been on a strict diet too. The heavy rear bench seat has been replaced with some much lighter air, as has the front passenger seat. Both are available as options for just $1 each, but they aren't the best $1 options on this car. Oh no, because the Demon Race Kit is probably the best dollar you'd ever be likely to spend. For the princely sum, you get a VIN-matched bespoke crate of racing goodies, including some super lightweight skinny front wheels wrapped in drag radials.
So how can the Shelby hope to compete? Well, unlike the Demon, the Mustang is not just a one-trick pony. Where the Dodge is built for going fast, the GT500 is built for fast drivers. More at home at the circuit than on the strip, the latest Shelby is a true track car, capable of keeping up with the best of its European competition. Yet it's also a perfectly usable everyday road car. It has a B&O Hi-Fi, optional electrical seats, and all the other luxuries you'd expect in a regular Mustang. So while Dodge may still be winning the power war, we are firmly on the side of the big, stripy Shelby.
While manufacturers all over the world continue to develop and produce more and more EVs, a handful are still experimenting with hydrogen. A few years ago, if you wanted to run a hydrogen-powered car in the UK, you were mainly confined to London due to the lack of refuelling stations. Now though, more and more are springing up around the UK, meaning hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, or FCVs, are starting to become a feasible choice for those looking to reduce their carbon footprint. So what hydrogen-powered cars are actually available in the UK? Well, there aren't many, especially now Honda has discontinued the Clarity, but Toyota and Hyundai both have FCVs that you can order right now. First up, the Toyota, allied the Mirai. This big executive saloon is now in its second generation, following on from the relative success of the old model, which sold over 10,000 units globally in the 6 or 7 years it was on sale. This new car aims to build on that with its elegant styling and rear-wheel drive layout. Based on the Japanese market Crown platform, it's a big car, both wider and longer than the old model. The extra size has allowed Toyota to add an extra hydrogen storage tank under the floor, increasing range by around 30%. The total capacity is 5.6 kilograms of hydrogen, which can power the electric motors for a range of 400 miles. Hydrogen is mixed with the oxygen to create a chemical reaction that generates electricity, which powers the car's electric motors. FCVs then drive like electric cars, but they have the advantage of being able to be topped up at a filling station in minutes. The Mirai system is so efficient that it actually cleans the air it drives through. Its special fabric filters capture all sorts of pollutants as it drives along, expelling nothing but water from the exhaust. Inside, the £50,000 Mirai gets a pleasingly upmarket interior with lots of leather and plenty of gizmos. It gets a big 12.3-inch infotainment system and a digital instrument display. It's all very smart and functional, with nothing out of the ordinary giving away its powertrain. Sadly, the Mirai's performance doesn't quite match its looks. It's a near 2-ton car producing 180 brake horsepower. 0 to 62 takes a steady 9 seconds, meaning most pure EVs will show it a clean pair of heels.
So, how about the Hyundai Nexo? Well, like the Mirai, it's not exactly rapid, hitting 62 from rest in 9.5 seconds. It isn't cheap either, starting at £66,000 after the government grant. What it is, though, is a good-looking, practical family SUV with a 414-mile range. Apart from the front lighting setup, the styling is unique to the Nexo and unlike anything else in the brand's range. Its soft, clean lines are mirrored on the inside too, where the modern design is combined with lots of slightly old-fashioned buttons. We're big fans of the cabin though. It's premium enough to just about justify the 16 grand premium over the Toyota. However, while there are now more hydrogen filling stations than ever before, they are still few and far between. There's currently only around a dozen filling stations in the UK, mostly in London, but there are more on the way.
It seems that hydrogen cars are still a way off from becoming mainstream due to the lagging infrastructure. But with cars like the Mirai and the Nexo on offer, it seems the manufacturers are ready.
Join us again next week on Auto Mundial as we take a look at Mercedes-AMG's latest super saloon, the GT63.